A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I love to see more unique places and tell their story. I take another step on my journey and I'm driving to a city close by home. This might be just a city out of so many beautiful cities that we have in my home country. Let me give you an example of what a small Dutch city looks like. A new place to explore. Today I visit the little historic city Montfoort. On my way I spotted a cow and some goats. And in the meantime I parked my car and I'm walking towards the city.
I'm really excited to check this place out because it is a really beautiful place. I have been before once because one of my friends got married here in town actually. I would love to show you that place later on.
Furthermore, in this video I would love to show you some interesting historic sites of Montfoort, and I made an appointment with the first miller of windmill, the Valk, and he loves to share you the story of a typical old Dutch windmill.
The church starts ringing exactly at the moment when I arrive at the city. Montfoort lays in the middle of the Green Heart area, which is a beautiful area located between the major big cities here in the Netherlands, including Amsterdam, Utrecht, The Hague and Rotterdam. You will find here this typical Dutch landscape with these farmlands, ditches and beautiful old Dutch windmills. That makes this region really special and especially the location of Montfoort really impressive. The evening sun shines magically on the city. I really love the view with the two towers of the church. Either one of them is ringing at the moment. It sounds really beautiful. Just before I enter the city, on the side of the IJsselplein or IJssel Square, I come across this beautiful example of an old canal lock. It dates from 1617. It's really impressive. I just met Jos Snell and he is the guard of the lock. Jos, can you tell me how many people pass this lock on a daily basis actually?
10, 15 bootjes per dag. Een hele goede dag. Maar het weekend heb je 70 tot 80 bootjes. Ja. Heel gezellig werk, want ja, mensen zijn in een goede stemming, die zijn lekker even uit, die hebben een biertje aan boord, die hebben wijn aan boord. En nou, dat delen wij je mee in die stemming natuurlijk.
I enter the town by crossing the bridge over the Hollandse IJssel. Montfoort lays on the banks of this little river. It's a really beautiful sight. And you enter the town through an old gate. This gate was built in 1375 and it's named after the Hollandse IJssel. So it's the Hollandse IJssel Gate. What makes this gate really special is that it is located next to the town hall. It's actually connected to the town hall itself, which is really amazing.
The town hall and the gate were originally part of the city wall, which is largely demolished. Nowadays the old town hall is used as a restaurant and it's also the perfect place for an unforgettable wedding ceremony. One of my best friends got married here and I can tell you, it was fantastic.
Due to decay over the centuries, an architect tried to restore the gate in 1963. But due to the lack of data, the gate looks nowadays like it never did before. There is something really interesting about this gate though. Let me show you that.
It's like there are a bunch of bull balls hanging next to the gate. But these are the so-called shamestones, a punitive instrument from medieval criminal law. It was used as an alternative to fine and punish women for slander and public quarrels with other women. There are not many places where you can still see the shamestones, so that makes this gate really special. In total there were 4 gates through which you could enter the city, but unfortunately the IJsselpoort is the only remaining gate. Close by you can still see where the water gate was located. This gate connected the Hollandse IJssel with a square called Plaats.
Coming from the Havenstraat I reached the Plaats, which is one of the oldest squares in the city. It was first mentioned in 1403. What's interesting about this city is that the street pattern didn't change much since 600 years ago. Actually, the Peperstraat, the width of this street, is still exactly the same. And the Peperstraat leads you to the big church. It's also named the St. John's Church.
The skyline of Montfoort is dominated by the towers of two different churches. You can see the 15th century St. John's Church and the bird of John the Baptist Church dating from the 19th century. In 1629, Montfoort had a large city fire, which included the destruction of the Grote Kerk. Reconstruction of that church was finished in 1634. You can visit the St. John's Church from July to October on Wednesday and Saturday between 12 and 4.
I really like it to wander down these old city streets. Well, talking about a city, you barely can call it a city, can you? Look how quiet it is on the streets actually.
Through the quiet streets I walk to the castle. Look how beautifully they are decorated with colored lanterns.
Castle Montfoort. This is actually the highlight of the city. Let's have a look what it looked like in the past. So this is where it all began for Montfoort. In the year 1170, Bishop Godfried van Rene had his castle built to protect his lands from competing khans. In front of the castle, a little settlement arose, and eventually this settlement grew out to a little city, and it got city rights in the year 1329. The name Montfoort is probably derived from the Latin words Mons Fortis, which means strong fort or strong castle. So let's have a look at the castle itself. We entered here through the gate, and here behind me you can see the beautiful castle of Montfoort. Yeah, I know, it's gone. It's not here anymore, unfortunately. It was destroyed in the war with the French, so not much is left of it except of this beautiful gatehouse and a little bit of the inner court. It's a perfect spot to have lunch. You can get married here as well. And there is this beautiful chestnut tree. The only thing that's remaining from this castle is laying next to this beautiful pond. Look at that, it's really stunning in the evening sun. Next to the ruins of the castle is a little bus stop, and the bus is the easiest way to get here in Montfoort. So let's have a look on the map which other possibilities you have here to get to this beautiful place.
Since Montfoort is located very close by the city of Utrecht, it's easiest reached from that city. From Central Station in Utrecht you can take bus line 107 and it will bring you in only 29 minutes to Montfoort. Another option is to rent a car, which will give you a similar travel time. You can also do it the Dutch way, rent a bicycle and hop on your bike.
There's one last place here in the city that I would really love to show you. I'm currently walking from the castle through a park surrounded by apple and pear trees towards another highlight of the city. And that highlight is just over there. It is a beautiful example of an old Dutch windmill, so let's check it out. Windmill de Valk. What a beauty it is. I made an appointment with the miller and this gives me a beautiful chance to see the inside of this fantastic windmill. I'm really excited to check it out, so let's get inside. Good evening.
Hi, Robin.
I'm Robin.
Hi,
Nice
welcome.
to meet you.
Welcome op Molen de Valk.
Yeah, and you are the first miller
Yes.
of the windmill de Valk.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you became a miller? And why you did?
That's a long story.
Yeah.
It's more than 50 years ago that I had interest to buy a mill, but
Yeah.
that time no money.
Yeah.
So I looked for another job, and at the end I lived in Montfoort, and this mill came available, and it was possible to start working in this mill. And that is in 2010. And in 2016 I became a diploma miller.
Yeah. And what does the profession of miller make so special?
The mill is a very old machine.
Yeah.
And if you start working in the machine, you can't stop anymore because you love the work in this old machine. And yeah, it's the passion.
It's a passion.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, let's have a look inside. Maybe you can tell a little bit about the mill itself and its history.
Okay.
Yeah. Windmill de Valk has been very important for the history of this little city. Can you tell me a little bit about the history of this windmill?
Yeah, there was in 1420 there was another windmill, and you see it on this picture. But that mill was fired up by the end, and then we had a mayor here in Montfoort, and Montfoort was surrounded by water and a wall.
Yeah.
So it was the first defending city before Utrecht.
Yeah.
It was very important that the inhabitants did all the things for themselves: the food, the water, the drinks, and one of the things was the important was the mill.
This windmill is also known as a cohesion mill.
Yep.
What exactly is a cohesion mill?
A cohesion mill means that the farmers had to come with the grain here. If not, prison. And the same for the bakeries. The bakeries had to come and buy the flour and the white flour here. If not, prison.
We go up to see where the grain is ground. The mill consists of several floors full of machines that are powered by the wind. We climb to the floor with the millstones.
We have here 3 couple of milling stones, and every milling stone can have his own product. We have one here for wheat, we have one there for spelt, and this one is for all other products what we have.
Yeah.
The grain is getting in this container here. We call it car. Then automatically this one is running when the mill is running. Then what you see is that the grain is coming on, we call it the shoe, and the shoe is dosing the grain inside the stones. And this, when the stones milling is, then we can collect the flour in the floor underneath us. So Robin, now we are at the floor where we collect the flour that's coming from one floor up. You see it's coming down here, and then we collect it in the back, and then we weight it, and then it goes to the shops. That's the way we normal work. However, the windmill cannot run anymore, and I would like to show you outside what happens and why we cannot run the mill. The center of the wings are made of steel, and the problem is the total length of one wing is 25 meter 50. That means you cannot make it on one plate. Dus they need different plates and welding the plates together. And the problem is 40 years ago, when the wings were made, the welding possibilities were not as good as they are now. It's happened in Holland that a few of the wings are broken, and that's why they measure the wings and the welding places and to see if it's really damaged or not. As I told you, we are not so happy that we cannot run the mill. That's why we found an electrical one. This one is more than 50 years old, was completely rusted, but we could restore it the way it is now. And thanks to that, we still can help our customers by buying the flour here. I will switch it on. I think it's a lot of noise, but that's how it is.
This machine makes a lot of noise indeed. The millers have started a crowdfunding campaign and they hope to raise enough money to get the mill running again in a few years.
See? It has to clamp a little bit together, and then the quality is super. That's how it is. Robin at work.
Every Saturday morning, the miller climbs into the 25-meter high blades. He puts up a large banner there showing people in the area that the mill is open from 10 AM to 4 PM. The banner also alerts people to the crowdfunding campaign. Many activities around the mill, such as climbing in the blades, are not without danger. Fortunately, the millers are protected by a patron saint. A drink keeps evil at bay.
I spent a wonderful day in Montfoort. It was a really nice city to visit. If you like to discover more interesting locations with me in the future, consider subscribing to my channel and give it a thumbs up if you like this video. See you maybe in the next one. Bye bye.